Yeah.
When you get close to getting
Yeah.
to AP, everybody calms.
Yeah. Hey.
Get closer.
See,
Get closer.
yeah. You got to win some more games. Appreciate y'all being here. Short week. Everything's been fast, condensed. Yesterday was sort of a Monday, Tuesday. I'm sorry, Tuesday, Wednesday. Sunday was a Monday. Today's a Thursday in our world. Tomorrow's a Friday. So back-to-back road trips against really good opponents. Charlotte's a really good football team. On film, they're as talented as anybody in our conference. I mean, I watch them, and athlete for athlete, they are really, really good. So we got to work it out for us, and it's going to be a hostile environment. We got to be ready to play. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
What concerns you the most about Deshaun Hurdle, their quarterback? I guess he didn't start last week, but he
came in and, yeah, he's got a really big arm. He can throw it. I would guess he had a 60-something yard completion, I believe, on the one post, but it was probably a 70-plus yard throw if you just actually tracked the yardage because it's a little bit diagonal. He's got a huge arm. He's a good runner, very talented, gifted athlete. I think he's an elite just athlete, and he's got a huge arm. I mean, the shot plays really scare you with him. So he's an explosive play waiting to happen, throw game or run game. So we've got to be really good if he is the guy. If he's not the guy, got to be ready for whoever. But
you have to prepare for both. And are they different in a way, or do they play?
I think their skill sets may be different to some degree. I think their offense, they know who they are. They've got a really good offensive identity. Just like anything, one guy may be better in a certain area of his game, so you have to know kind of maybe what a guy's strengths are. But the offense is good either way. They really lean on the run game a lot too. They got a great running back group, and a really good O-line. This team is really good. Like I can't tell you enough. Like the record, you can throw that out. Watch them on tape last week against Memphis. They're really good. So we've got to be prepared.
Like throughout conference play, you've mentioned that even about teams like you look at Charlotte's record, they're 3-5, but their last two games have been against Navy and Memphis. Like I just wonder, like since joining this team, like have you gained a new respect maybe for the American and
Yeah.
the talent level across?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of athletic teams. I go back to UAB, like their receiver room I thought was elite going into the game. And I left the game, and you ask our guys that play slot corner for us, play nickel for us, our Spears, they would tell you those guys at slot were dangerous. Like everybody in this league's got players at certain spots, and everybody may have a different strength, but and these guys are littered with Power 4 transfers in the roster. I mean, you look across the board, it's like we're playing a Power 4 team that is in our conference is what it feels like this week off the ability they have. I mean, that's who they are. So the league's very challenging. Week in, week out, there's no layup.
In a short week, what do you feel like is the most important thing to like key in on as a team to have success?
Yeah, I think you have to be fast and fresh. I think the worst thing we can do is make our guys worn down all week or quick turnaround. And so you got to be fast and fresh. We use the term a lot, like Greg McMahon and I say this to each other a lot, like play songs they already know the words to. Don't turn on a new song they haven't heard before and ask them to sing the lyrics because they don't know it. Give them a song they know the lyrics to, right? And so we have some game plan adjustment things that are unique and different for every game. And even in a short week, you got to have some, but do what we do well. Let's be who we are, and that gives you the best chance of being fast and fresh and know what to do.
2 weeks ago, you sounded the alarms, said that complacency can kill a team, and that was against a Rice team y'all were heavily favored against. And then on Saturday, for 3 quarters,
Yeah.
it kind of looked like y'all were all over the place. And y'all are big-time favorites again this week. Have you seen more intensity this week of practice than you did 2 weeks ago? Because you saw something 2 weeks ago. I could tell that you were worried that something was going to happen.
2 weeks ago today, I was pissed after practice. I was about ready to pull somebody's face off. This week has been really good. I think the condensed part of the deal can help you in some ways. Now, the back-to-back road trips, maybe not how you would design it if they left the schedule up to me, but I felt a much better focus with our practices. A much better that was coming off the bye, and a lot of things weren't. This group, I think we're ready. We're going to be ready to play. I mean, they better be. I mean, I told them on Sunday's team meeting, I said this is on ESPN, like the mothership, not after dodgeball, not before ping pong, like real ESPN. So, you got to be ready for a game like this. If you're not, then you got a problem.
What is that challenge like? Seeing this team, I mean, anybody seeing this team for the first time, especially in a short week.
What's that? I'm sorry. What's the challenge like of
Seeing this team for the first
Oh,
time in
yeah,
a short week.
yeah. Well, I think the challenges are, you're trying to figure out who are their players, and then you're also trying to figure out the scheme is so different. Like, that's what makes college football, I think, unique is, last week we played an air raid, up-tempo, they wanted to throw it for 400 or 500 yards if they could team. This week we're playing more of a pro-style offense, multiple tight ends, run the ball down your throat, take shots off the run game and the play action. So you're dealing with identifying who are their personnel, and then you're also identifying, all right, what is the schematics that they use and how does it affect what we do. And so there's a lot that goes into that too. So it's the identifying personnel, who are they and how does it fit us, and who do you have available on your roster, like what's the health of your team. There's so many things that go into it that are like you just have to press fast forward a little bit on some of that and maybe deal with some of that. And then the travel component, got back Saturday night and we'll leave tomorrow. I mean, it feels like we just got home. So it's just a lot of moving parts.
Jack Jenkins coming in here later. He led the team in tackles against North Texas.
Yeah.
You got a lot of guys.
Yeah.
that could play. But what have you seen in him?
Yeah, Jack's a really smart kid. He's a very talented athlete. Played a lot of different positions at his high school. Went to St. Pius X in Atlanta. Really gifted. He's fast, explosive, twitchy, makes plays. He's a high energy guy. Like positively affects other people around him. He's been a fun guy to watch him grow. At that free safety position. He's been involved a little bit as maybe a depth returner for us. He's got a really bright future, I think.
And Coach, kind of taking away from the field for a minute, hearing about Patrick's loss
Yeah.
this week, with him being back with the team, how is he feeling and how you all kind of rallied around that?
Yeah, Pat Jenkins is a foundational piece of this football team. He's been here for several years now. Came from here, went to John Ehret High School, left early in college, and then came back home. When the transition happened back in December, coaching staff-wise, he could have very easily have decided to leave. There's a lot of people that would have loved for him to go somewhere else, and he chose to stay. I think Mom was a big component of that. He lived with Mom, and cannot understate their relationship. I mean, he's a special guy, and we talk about family, we live it. Like he's family to us, and he's back with his team, and I think he's better for that. I know we're better for it too, but you could not ask for a more quality young man than Patrick Jenkins. I mean, a heartbreaking situation, but we love him, and it's been a joy having him back, and we're walking through this together with him because that's what families do, and that's what we are, and man, we love Pat Jenkins.
Speaking of family, what is the Sumrall game plan for Thursday night? I mean, you got a whole squad with the Miz.
Yeah.
Are they is the Miz going to try to run him out early, get back to the game? How are we working Thursday?
Well, I just found out last night. I think my street's like shut down or something. So, whatever they're doing, I can guarantee you, my wife will have the game on. Like she's addicted more than I am. She's watching it. So they'll have the TV out. They'll be watching it. I'm sure they'll dress up. I asked my son what he was dressed up as. He said a football player. I'm like, come on, we got to be more original than that. But that's not very creative. But they'll be watching it. They'll be watching it. So they'll probably try to get a little trick or treating done, but they'll watch the game. The kids love it.
It's pretty neat y'all are playing on Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's right. I hadn't thought about it really. I put a lot of thought into the flow of the week, but I hadn't thought about which days. But yeah, we'll play whenever they ask us to play. If they want us to play in a parking lot, we'll play in a parking lot.
Well, at least there's no bowl game until Christmas Day, I don't think anymore. So
There's not. So
Okay,
we're gonna
there
miss
you go.
that.
You
We're
don't
gonna.
care about holiday.
I do know that there's not anymore on Christmas Eve, but there's not one on Christmas Day. So we'll at least get one day to do family.
Anything else?
Awesome. Thank
Thank you,
y'all.
Joe.
Appreciate
Thank
y'all.
you.
Thanks for being here.